Hey, beautiful people, welcome to my channel, The Fog Philosopher, where we talk peace of mind, mental health, and being your best self. Hi, my beautiful people, and welcome to another episode with me, Masi Nyango, also known as The Fog Philosopher. And today we'll be asking the question, are we good people? So thank you for joining me on yet another episode. It's really appreciated. And as always, if you like something, if you learn something, if I just entertain you, kindly subscribe, share, and comment. It will be much appreciated. And as always, let's get right into it. So today we'll be asking the question, are we good people? And today's topic is stemming from a conversation, or rather conversations I had with a friend of mine. And this specific friend would always mention, or they'll always make it a point to note of the fact that they are good people. They'd always say it, I'm a good person, Masi, I'm a good person. And it got me wondering, why is this person constantly saying they are a good person? Is it something that we need to remind ourselves to be? Is it something that we just are? Am I a good person? So in asking myself that question, I just decided to pose it as a question also to you guys. And let's discuss. So basically today we will just ask ourselves a few questions so that we can come to the conclusion on whether we are good people or not. And the questions are meant for you to ask yourself internally. It's not whether other people think you are a good person or not. It's whether you think you're a good person or not after asking yourselves these questions. Personally, I have asked myself these questions. And if you watch until the end, maybe I will reveal whether I think I'm a good person or not. So let's go. So question number one is, if we could only hear thoughts, if we could only hear our thoughts and not words, if our way of communication was through our thoughts, would you still consider yourself a good person? So in this case, if we could just walk around and we could not speak, our ability to communicate through speech has been removed, and now we can only hear thoughts, other people's thoughts, your own thoughts, without any filters. That is what you think about, whether meditated or abruptly, other people can hear it. Would you still consider yourself a good person if all we could hear were your thoughts? The second question is, if we could not lie, if the ability to lie was completely removed, the moment you try to lie, your tongue just goes numb, you can't speak. So you can only tell the truth. If you could only tell the truth, actually, let's just put it as, if you could not lie, would you still consider yourself a good person? And in this case, you have the ability to speak. You also have the ability to stay silent. But when you speak, you cannot tell a lie. So would you still consider yourself a good person if your ability to tell white lies, little lies, big lies, exaggerated lies, all kind of lies, if that ability was removed or was taken away, would you still consider yourself a good person? And at this point, I'd just like to mention a movie which at this point I don't remember it, but I'll add it to the screen. So in this movie, basically, you could not lie. Like the characters in the movie weren't able to lie, and everyone could just, all you could do was tell the truth. So if you haven't watched it yet, kindly watch it and let me know what you think about it. And the third question is, if you could only operate from your darker self, your shadow self, would you still consider yourself a good person? So I'd just like to expound on this question a bit. If you have not met your darker self, congratulations. So all of us as human beings have a good side and a bad side. We are all capable of the worst kind of evil. So as you sit there, as you watch this, just know that all human beings are capable of the worst kind of evil. It just requires different circumstances to bring it out of us. So if you've not met your darker side, as I've said, congratulations. So for some of us who have interacted with our worst selves, it's an experience. So basically, this is the side of you that is more, I can say, aggressive. Yeah, the word I can use is aggressive. This is your more aggressive side. So if we were all to operate from this side, from this shadow self, from this darker self, would you still consider yourself a good person? And in this scenario, everyone around you is not choosing to be, to be higher about the situation. Everyone is choosing to undercut, to go lower. Everyone is choosing, their worst self. So would you still consider yourself a good person if we were living in a world where everyone was choosing to be their worst self? And in this scenario, if you have never met your darker side, I'm speechless. Maybe just do some more self-evaluation, but at the same time, also, ignorance is bliss. Kindly enjoy that part of your life while you still can. And the last question is, if all the laws were removed, if there were no guidelines, if there were no laws, if there were no punishable, offenses, if you were allowed to just live the way you want, do whatever you want, would you still consider yourself a good person? So the difference between this question and question number 3 is, in this case, people are operating normally from, their nicer side or whatever, but there are no laws. There are no governments to arrest you. There are no courts. There are no police officers. There are no authority figures, basically, to reprimand anyone if you go against the law. There is no law, so you can do anything. Basically, it's like the movie Purge, which I'll also, put over here. So if you have not watched it, kindly watch. A very interesting bit of a thriller horror, so if you're not in for that genre. But basically, the movie, for one night, you can do any kind of crime without any kind of consequence, basically. So would you still consider yourself a good person if the laws were lifted and everyone could do whatever they want? So the basis of this episode is basically just to know ourselves better. If you ask yourself these questions, be honest as you can. It is not easy. In the world we live in, we have to feel different types of emotions. We have to have different perspectives of ourselves. Also, we have to present ourselves differently in different scenarios just to survive. So if these questions help you to see yourself in a different light, you can always improve. We are always trying to improve and be better. That is the whole point of living. And also, if you find that you are not a good person, it is okay. As long as you know and you're fully aware and you're okay with it and you have decided that is the way to go for you, well and good. And good here, we're putting it in quotes because we can say good is subjective, because different situations call for a different level of goodness, if I can say that. But personally, for me, being good just means peace of mind for myself, peace of mind for my environment, peace of mind for the people I interact with. And that's just a simple way of me to explain what being good means to me. So whatever being good means to you, if you can answer those questions honestly and you feel like you're okay, you feel like you want to do better, so let me know in the comments whether you think you're a good person or not, or whether you want to be better. And that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked something, if you learned something, if I just entertained you, kindly like, share, subscribe, and comment. It'll be much appreciated. and see you on the next episode. Bye.